All right, we are ready to spray. So I have 2 distress oxides and a distress spray stain that I'm going to use for the flowers. And you can use the oxide sprays as well as the spray stains together. You don't have to use them separately. So for the leaves, I'm going to use Rustic Wilderness distress spray stain and bundled sage oxide. You need to make sure to shake the oxide, because oxide is a blend of pigment and dye. So you want to make sure that they are mixed well before you spray them. So I'm trying to be a little bit lighter handed with the darker green than I was on the sample. So that's how I was on the sample, and I was a little bit heavier with the darker green, so I'm trying to be a little bit lighter handed. You can spray it with water, and what that does is it oxidizes the oxide spray, which gives it a little bit more of a frosty look. So these guys as well need to be shaken up. And usually it doesn't need to be shaken up a whole lot, but you'll notice, you can see where all the pigment tends to lie. So you just want to make sure it's shaken up very well before using it. So I'm going to spray. You can spray whichever one you want first, it doesn't matter. But my sample was a little bit heavier on the purple, and I'm going to try to be a little bit more on the blue and pink side, only to show the difference. But you can see by using the sprays, you have only so much control over where it goes. It has quite a big spray pattern, so you don't have 100% control. But what I did find when I was creating the samples is if you move them around, you start to get the seepage from the spray that's underneath. And I like how that just adds kind of an outline to the outside. Now for this one, the inside is fairly white from the watercolor paper still, so I'm just gonna add, that one was a little bit too much on the pink. There we go. And add a little bit more blue to this guy. So it's a fun way to color die cuts, but you can see you only have so much control over it. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. I do like pressing the bottoms, and I do it with a die pick or something so that you're not getting spray all over your fingers. Just because I like how the different color flows over top of it. I'm doing this on a mat so that when I'm completely done, I can take my die cuts off of here. I can rehydrate the spray with some water and put it on some mixed media paper or whatever so it doesn't go to waste. By doing it on my table, I could do the same thing, but I would want to make sure not to spray anything around. So I'm going to let that completely dry, and once that's completely dry, we can move on to the next step, which is glittering the die cuts. Now, the glitter that we're using is clear, but it's just very subtle. It gives it kind of a bit of a frosted look, kind of like the frosting from the sugar on pastries, but I just really like how it gives it a subtle glittery look, just for a little bit of a different texture. So we'll see you in the next video.